So I've got this Telecaster that I've had for probably 30 years, 25 or 30 years. Been a long time. This has been an issue since I've owned it, but you can see this particular saddle on the high E string. There's the adjustment nut is actually broken off. So the set screw in here, you can't adjust it anymore because it doesn't have like an Allen. It's not an Allen hole in there anymore like the rest of these have an Allen hole. So consequently what's happening is it's sitting at an angle, and because of that angle, then the string is almost off the edge of the neck. And you can see up at the top of the neck, of course, there's the right distance here, but by the time you come way up here, really the string should be about here. And if this weren't rocked, if I straighten this, if I lift this, you'll see the string a little bit better position there. You can see it move. So there's no fixing that. Well, you can get new set screws. But the other thing with these individual bridges is these are kind of floating. So anyway, I bought a new set that has a groove that the string will actually set in. So the string has a slot or a groove that will actually lay in, so it's not floating like these are. So I just went through and I did setup on this, did the intonation. So it's a pretty good setup right now, but because I got to replace this or all of these, I got to take the strings off and reset everything. So I'm going to cut the strings and take all these individual saddles off and then put the new saddles on. And then go through a full setup. So that's going to be string height as well as intonation. So there we go. We got all of the saddles, individual string saddles taken off. So they're a bit rusty, so probably a good thing to replace them anyhow. So let's get this all cleaned up underneath here, and then get the new saddles put in. I like the gold, the bronzy gold look. Looks a little better with the guitar, so I'm excited about that. So I want to point out a bit of, I guess, tech or customization. You can see on here the side that the groove is, where the string lays. It's on the far side of all of these. So there's that little groove right there. Not on this end, but on this end. But if you look over here, and where these screws go in, the string comes out. Sorry, this goes here. The string comes out on the opposite side. So I have to turn these all over and unscrew all of these set screws and turn them in from the opposite direction, so that when the string comes out, the groove will be on that side. In case you're wondering, no, I can't just flip it over because this side doesn't have the Allen head holes. So this top side has the Allen head holes. So I have to unscrew those out and then flip it over and screw them in this direction. so that the groove is on this side. All right, that was tedious, as you can imagine, but we've got all of the individual saddles reversed with the Allen heads facing up now, and the groove is on the would be the top side of the guitar towards the high E string. So now let's get to installing them. All right, there we go. We got all the individual saddles installed. They're not set up at all, so they got to be adjusted for height as well as intonation, so in and out. So we'll get the strings put on, there, and then we can start all of the adjustments. And pretty much, you'll notice a pattern with individual saddles when you can adjust these individually. You can't do it on acoustic guitars typically, but if you look at the saddles on any individual strings, you'll see there's a pattern where they kind of get shorter, and then they kind of dip down and then dip back up. So it's going to follow that kind of pattern. One thing I could have done was to get close, is to measure the distance between each of these, and sort of reset it pretty close to where it was. But I know how to set up intonation from scratch, so I'm just going to set this up fresh. But I could have, just like you align a car, if you can kind of measure the distance of your tie rod ends to get it in alignment pretty well before or after you install new tie rods. I could have measured this, but I decided I can set it up myself. So anyway, they're all installed. The slots are on the correct side. The slots are towards the top. No, they're not. This one's wrong, and this one's wrong. These need to be flipped. Oh, this one I can see doesn't have the Allen bolt. This one's got to have the screws changed. It's a good thing I checked that. So these two are not correct. See, the rest of these have the slot on the high side of the guitar, towards the top of the guitar. But this one and this one are wrong. This one's just got to be flipped over, but this one, the screws have to be changed. There we go. Should be all set now. So we got all the grooves in that direction because the string comes out of that side. For each of these saddle slots, and then all the Allen heads are on the top. So now get the strings on, and we'll start setting set the level, the string level. So set the action, and then once the action is set, then we'll set the intonation. Got all the strings on now. They're all seated nicely in their saddles. Here, we'll cut this off. That's just normal stuff. But already you can see now this small E string is comfortably on the neck, similar to with the distance off the edge, the same as it is at the neck. So you can see it was riding like right there, so now it's actually on the neck. So I don't know if after tuning and stuff these do float side to side, so I don't know if there's any way you can really prevent that, but So now we'll get the level set. We'll adjust these up and down, get the action set correctly on each one, tune it up, and then we'll start setting intonation, which is adjusting the lengths of each of these to be right at the center. So got the guitar all in tune. Well, first I set the action, set the level so I don't get any fret buzz. So it's nice, the lowest I can get without any fret buzz. I know there's some way to measure the distance, but this is just the practical way to do it, I guess, so that it's playable, but also sounds good. So now that it's in tune, now to set the intonation, you have the whole guitar tuned, and then you check whether or not the octave is in tune. So you can see that looks sharp. And if from here to here is sharp, that means it needs to be lengthened. So that means this saddle needs to be drawn back a little bit. So that's the process of setting your intonation, that this fret, 12th fret, when you fret the note or the string, it should give you exactly the next octave. And we're getting a little sharp. So the string itself is in tune. Oops. The string itself is in tune on E. But then when you fret it, it's sharp. So when it's sharp, the distance from here to here needs to be lengthened. And then you just do that progressively for each string. You make sure the whole guitar is in tune before you adjust any one string. Get one string adjusted, make sure the whole guitar is in tune. Go to the next string, adjust it, make sure the whole guitar is in tune to you know, do all 6 strings. Okay, so for the first E string, it's tuned to E. And now if I fret at the 12th, now it's right on. So the open string is on E, and the 12th fretted is also on E. So now I gotta just progressively do that. So I drew this back probably about a 1/4 to 3/8 of an inch. So these saddles gotta move up and down to make the right length to hit the octave on the 12th fret. All right, actually only had to adjust the A string, and the rest of them were pretty much on par. So just double check again. Guitar's in tune, play the octave. So they're all hitting on the octave, they all hit on the note. They're not, oops, I didn't have this in frame, but the guitar tuner playing on the octaves all hit the right note. And then when you play it, you'll just know it's all in tune. If you hit a chord up here, it still sounds pretty much in tune. That's how you'll know your intonation is right, because if you start playing notes up here and your intonation is off, you're gonna hear weird stuff. So there you go. So that's replacement of saddles, new strings, setting action, and setting intonation. See it. So this probably goes without saying, but when you change strings, of course, you want to play the heck out of it, just to make sure you pull the tension out of here. So, you know, definitely get some good bends on the strings. The other thing is I did have to make some adjustments to the string height, my action, because I was playing up here. and I was getting a dead spot. So when I was bending this string, it was hitting a fret up here, so it was dying out. So I had to adjust the string a little higher because I was up here in the action. I was hitting another fret. So this probably goes without saying, but when you change strings, of course, you want to play the heck out of it, just to make sure you pull the tension out of here. So, definitely get some good bends on the strings. The other thing is I did have to make some adjustments to the string height, my action, because I was playing up here and I was getting a dead spot. So when I was bending this string, it was hitting a fret up here, so it was dying out. So I had to adjust the string a little higher because I was up here in the action. I was hitting another fret. So. So just kind of bend the strings around, play it a lot, make sure there's no dead spots up on the neck, and so far it's holding up good. All these high notes, bar chords up near the octave, it's holding pretty tight.